So it's late and I'm really tired, but um, I'm not asleep yet. But I just wanted to be honest with everybody um, because things are really, really rough right now. Um, I, I've been busting butt on eBay, and it's been really, really slow the last 3 months because of summer slowdown. This is like a typical thing now. And it's hurt a lot of sellers, a lot of the big time sellers, everything. Um, and I was working, and uh, I fell recently, um, and I don't have any medical, which, with the job that I had, I was wanting to get medical and all kinds of things, and get my Serve Pro thing, which cost like $300 um, for being a manager, and they were supposed to handle that, and they didn't do it. I had been there 3 months as a manager, and that's illegal in the state of Florida. You're supposed to have your serve safe within 30 days, and so it's just poorly managed corporate, as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, and I sure didn't have the money to pay for it myself. Um, I was making pretty good money. Um, but the job was very stressful. My hair was started falling out from the stress, um, and it was way more than being just a manager. I mean, I might as well have been a regular employee because it was terrible, and we were just so short-staffed. There was only 3 of us to run a whole restaurant, and that does not work. I don't care what anybody says. I had talked to corporate, and they were like, "Oh, we've had several of the restaurants run with only 3 people. Better than you guys can." And it's like, so it was tough. It was really tough. Um, but anyway, and I was working full time overtime because I got time. You know what I mean? As long as I can, get to the storage to my office to ship stuff out, it's great. Um, but I haven't been able to work uh, for like what, a week to 2 weeks now. Um, and my leg really hurts bad. I fell, and that's the way it goes. But I don't have medical, and uh, so my job, I talked to him about going back, but because I have a big thing on my leg, it's not permitted in food, and two, I don't have medical, and they wanted medical documentation, and I have no way to get that. So I went to a couple of my other jobs because I have one job that I've worked like 5 years on and off at all different stores for them, and it's problematic. But they're real short at one of the stores that I have worked for before when they were called me over there, and I did a ton of hours over there. And so my damn employee numbers are out like after 3 months, and this is the second time around. The last time they made me reapply, and it took like 4 months to get back on. Okay, and they hire people all day long, and they go to work like in 2 days. So anyway, I went ahead and reapplied again, and hopefully I can get on. And the nice thing about that job is they have daily pay, so you get a majority of your pay, like half of your pay a day, which would help me a lot because right now I've got 2 storages that are getting ready to go up for auction, and that's like a total of $300. And if it goes too many more days, they're going to tack another $100 on each one for auction fee that I can't get back. Even if I pay it the day of auction, they're still going to charge me that extra, $200, 100 for each unit. And I really need it because it's like my sewing stuff and that. And so I don't have much in storages that is like, like I have like 5% of my furniture. The rest I gave away, and sold. Um, and, you know, I just didn't want to pay storage on furniture because you could buy new furniture. It's just worthless to put it in storage. So everything I have is all commercial. My eBay store is 1,100 items at this time, and it is just dirt slow. I had to put it on vacation mode, which nobody wants to buy from you when it's on vacation mode. Normally they let you do it 30 days with sales. They've made a change on eBay to where it's 15 days with sales. Um, so that makes it really rough. Um, but I mean, I usually get a little bit of sales when my store is on vacation mode, but it's not good um, versus having the store open to where I can ship whenever. And I'm trying to get rid of a lot of stuff so I can cut back on storages. And so when I get ready to move and relocate, I don't have so much stuff to move. And it's all money that I need. So I want it to sell. A lot of my showgirl stuff does not sell well except for in person. My car's not good, so I can't go work around the States. Um, this is my battery. That's a fan. Um, but anyway, so I'm so tired of being homeless in the car. I'm just absolutely tired. It's just like you just can never get caught up. Rents are starting to go down a little bit, and there's starting to be things available here where you couldn't rent anything for the longest time since the pandemic. But it would take, close to $5K to rent something, between deposits, starting up utilities, and the rent and all that. And I really, don't think I want to stay here. I think I'd rather relocate. But the biggest thing is to get everything sold that I can so that I can move successfully with a U-Haul and pull the car behind if the car survives. And I can't afford to replace the car. But right now, I'm in bad shape because of those 2 units. My time is running out very, very quickly. So if you can help, my PayPal link is, or not the link, that my PayPal is on my description of this channel page, and then I'll try to put it in the description box too, for you if you wish to help, even if it's for $1. Everything helps. If all my subs donated 50 cents, would help me a ton. But anyway, only if you can. Don't do it if you can't do it. In the meantime, I applied for several jobs today through Indeed and in person. Tourist season is over, so it's very difficult to find work right now. I didn't think about that till today because a lot of businesses, are slowing down. There's a restaurant that I could go and help at occasionally, and she pays me very well. I talked to her today, and she was like, man, I am sending people home. It's so slow. And that's not even normal at her restaurant. She owns it. And she loves me. So anyway, it's really nerve-wracking. I can't afford to lose that stuff at all. So if you want to help, you can PayPal me. SHOWGIRLLTD at AOL.com, or look in the description of the channel, or I'll try to put it in the description box. Anything helps. I don't know what to do. The worst part is my leg is just really bad, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. I can't go very far with the car because it's in bad shape. I think it's throwing a lifter. So yeah, and I have no way to work on it myself right now. I don't have a place to do it really. and I really don't want to do it. I had a lot of cars, and I sold and gave away a bunch, in the pandemic. And this is all I've got, and I can't afford to replace it. And the worst part is I'm living in it. It's horrible. Worst life you'll ever live. I've never had to live like this in my life. I don't drink, I don't do drugs, and I miss my pretty clothes, but you can't, dress when you're homeless in your car. It attracts a lot of attention, and because I'm by myself and a girl, you have to be very, very careful. But anyway, and boondocking is pretty much illegal everywhere now. But anyway, so I'm just real sad, and I can't afford to take this loss. And one of the jobs that wants to hire me, I'm supposed to have an interview tomorrow at a restaurant. Their pay is every 2 weeks, and that will not save my butt for my life. So, if you can help, great. If not, some kind words will help. But otherwise, I just want to give you an update. It's been rough. Yeah, I mean, like, I have just less than a quarter tank of gas. That's the worst part. It's like I can't drive around and see people in person, because I think it really does so much more when you can see people in person for a job than just filling some junk out online. I hate it. In the old days, you saw people in person, and a lot of times you didn't even fill out an application. They just hired you because, when they interviewed you, they thought you were great. And as long as you performed what you spoke, everything was great. And nowadays, it's like all on the internet, and it's just so cold, and they don't know who you are. And even when I do stuff on the internet to apply, I want to go by the business, and introduce myself and say, well, by the way, I applied. And they'll ask you what your name is so they can, look up your application because they like you, I find it to be very important. Business is business, But anyway, I don't know what I'm going to do. I just can't take those losses at all. It's just, the worst part is I fell. That just really crippled me there. That really was bad timing. And the next thing is, eBay's just crashed and burned for everybody like the last 3 months. But it's like that every year. At this time. So, and the economy's rough, with Biden and all that crap. And, we're going into a really bad depression, inflation thing. And I haven't seen, huge inflation like this since I was a kid. I remember in California with the gas crunch and odd even number plates and lettuce was 10 cents a head, and all of a sudden it's like 60 cents a head, and all kinds of things. It just got really expensive. I remember when the bar rooms, I worked in them underage in the bar rooms in California. On the rocks drink was $1.10, right? And people talk today, and see, I quit drinking years ago. And people say, oh yeah, and we went out to the bar and we spent like $350 our bar tab. I'm like, God, where'd you go, the Hilton? And they're like, no, that's just average. Who spends that kind of money to go out drinking? Mother of God. That's insane. Yeah. Wow. But anyway, I'm glad I don't do any of that. And I don't need it. My world is very serious right now. I need to be very alert and very aware. Thank you very much. And I'm still alive. But, yeah, so everything got locked up the other day, so I can't operate my eBay business. I was trying to run auctions on Whatnot. I was doing like 5 auctions a day, and to prep for them, get set up and run them is just so exhausting. My health is not good. And again, I don't have medical. I do not feel good every day. I just don't. Um, and it's just been tough. We're getting ready to go into Q4 for eBay, which could be pretty good. Normally, it's been very good historically through the years for eBay online sales, because malls aren't surviving because online is so much easier for people and less traveling around and less gas and all that other kind of thing. I mean, it gets delivered to your house like Christmas, but um, the world's kind of in bad shape right now. So I don't predict that Q4 is going to be skyrocketing. I think it'll be okay, but I don't think it's going to skyrocket and go crazy. Okay, I've just really believe that. I feel it, and usually I'm right. The unfortunate thing was the other day my numbers hit on the lottery, and I played them for years and hit, you know, all the time on them. And in like the past 3 months, I just really haven't wanted to spend that extra dollar or whatever when I felt like it might hit, because I would rather keep that dollar. I mean, I'm just not one to play on scared money. And so, unfortunately, the other day it hit and I missed $5,000. That would have set me up very nicely. But such is life. Um, I wished I could have hit it, but I don't regret, you know, not spending that money because I needed it. Especially right now. I mean, like, I have hardly any gas. Um, you know, eating's going to be real rough. Um, yeah. So I had, you know, a friend of mine and an acquaintance took me out to lunch yesterday, which was nice, and we talked for a little bit. And then I have a very dear YouTuber friend of mine that uh, 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 sent me some money, which was just incredibly helpful. Thank God. What a blessing. Um, and the weird cars that drive around here. My gosh. And so that was just wonderful. And they, are wishing me the best. Uh, and I mean, just to have somebody do that kind of kindness is just incredible. They also ordered from my Whatnot shows, and I sent some extra stuff too, in their orders, because I do that with everybody. And it gives me, really good feedback, like on eBay and stuff, and I really appreciate them ordering. And, I have tons of stuff, so it's not a big deal to throw a little extra in there. Yeah, it might be stupid, but that's just the way I am. Um, I want people to come back and do business with me. But in the meantime, I can't ship out any orders. Everything's locked up. It was heartbreaking the other day. The countdown to make sure I got everything. The unfortunate thing is my Social Security card. I don't have it. It's in my office in the storage. I was looking for it the other day and could not find it, and I used it for the last job I was hired for in management, and I don't know where it is. I normally keep it in my briefcase, and it's not there. That's a huge problem, because a lot of these jobs, they want your Social Security card so they can Xerox that. So that's kind of scary, because it would take forever and a day to replace my Social Security card. But because I've done that before, and you have to do it by mail, Yeah, boy, oh boy. So, and I mean, on top of it, I have so little gas. I just, can't do anything or go anywhere. But, I just don't know. Anyway, the weather's starting to cool down a little bit, and it's so much better, without the car being at 99 to 100, because you'll die at like 105. So, it's a little better, you know, just the past few days. Um, and I'm thanking God for that. That is a blessing because I'm just so tired of the heat. It is just so hard. Um, I thank God I wake up every day. That's for sure. It's another blessing every day. So it's you know, easier. The only thing is it's a pre-warning of how cold it's going to get, I guess. And yes, it does get really flipping cold in Florida in the winter, and it's horrible. Um, I prefer the heat, but the heat is very, very risky, as well as the cold. Um, both ways are pretty bad. Um, I don't have a way to power source through the car because everything shuts off when the key goes off. My other cars, you could still plug stuff in and run it, but not this one. So that's why I have this Jackery that I had bought before they went on sale. I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of dark. Um, but this is a great thing. I can't power anything major. I would have loved to got one a little bit bigger, but I just didn't have the money, and I saved the money to get this one, and that was like $350. The bigger one was like $450, and I just didn't have it. And I really didn't want to spend that kind of money when I wanted to get a place to live, because I just felt like it was taking the money out of getting a place to live, because I did not plan on living in the car this long. I just thought it'd be a horrible waste of money, but it's one of the greatest purchases I ever made. It's a little small, but it's better than nothing. I mean, at least I can power my phone, so I will not be without a phone. I can run a small fan on it, and not use up all the power. Um, and I can operate my computer, my printer, and all that stuff on it for my eBay sales. Um, it's been very much a blessing. Um, so, because as you know, like, storages don't come with electric. So I don't know. I just don't know. I watched a YouTuber called ZZ tonight that I ran across from some other guy's YouTube channel, and he was interviewing her, and she was showing everybody how she was living in this little tiny car, and she had lost her job of 7 years, and um, the setup was unreal. Um, and she's kind of a big girl, you know, and I was like, Mother God, you know. Um, I'm pretty tiny, so, and that's because you can't afford to eat, you can't afford to cook, you know, and I can't stand fast food. I really hate it. It is so unhealthy and so full of sugar, and it's just not the kind of food I like to eat. I'm a very health food type person, and vitamins. But this girl that somehow got a van, some car dealer said he'd sell her this van with no interest. I find that hard to believe. At $500 a week, an old used van, $500 a week. That means $2K a month. That's insane money. You can buy, a real nice one. There's Inspirational Nomad on YouTube, and he started doing a lot of vlogs about all these, vans and small campers and stuff, to help people and help some dealerships. And I mean, he was going over some that were like, $250 a month, $300 a month. And this girl is like spending $500 a week, doing a buy here, pay here thing. And this van is nice. I mean, it's used, and she's done work to it, but I mean, it's a big van. And those vans are, a lot of those are 80 and 100K. And then new, they're like 250K. So I don't know how she swung that crap. But now she has a way bigger channel than me and a whole bunch more followers. And, she probably makes pretty darn good money on YouTube. Other than all the people sending gifts and tips and stuff, but yeah. And then she's got like a dog and a cat that she's got living with her in the van. That's just the worst thing in the world. If you're homeless, don't get animals, please. Don't do it. I had some acquaintance friends that had a truck, and they were young. Had a truck with a camper shell, and they were door dashing, and they had the girlfriend's car too, and they would door dash all the time and leave like 12 animals in this truck with a house air conditioner mounted in the side of it, and leave those animals alone for like 8 hours a day in Walmart parking lots and stuff. And that's just insane. They got busted over at Planet Fitness. They had come from Destin to Planet Fitness, and they went in to go to the gym and take showers or whatever, and left all those animals in the car. And the sheriff showed up and went like, "You can't do this." And they collect animals along the way in their travels. Because I was like, why do you have all those animals? When I met them, they had about 8. And in the end, they had like 13 or 15 or something. And then he's got, YouTube channel, and then a TikTok or something. I guess it's a TikTok. And people were sending them gifts and all kinds of stuff, money and everything. And, and the guy's like going, yeah, well, I eat a $1 burrito every day. That's my food, and it's like, okay, get rid of the animals. And they're going to high dollar pet store to buy food and all that other stuff. And I'm like, how did you end up with all these animals? Well, we lost our house. And I said, these were all the animals you had at your house? Oh, no. These are, animals that were strays that we've picked up, And they had like a real expensive one of those real tall, big poodles, and a bunch of cats. And then the cat had babies. They had more cats, and they didn't want to give them away. He was like real strict about, we don't want to just give these animals away to anybody. We want to make sure they're taken care of. Man, they got a cat house in Fort Walton that's a no-kill shelter, okay? And there's cats that have lived there for years, and there's some that die there. And they have secondhand store that fundraises for these animals to be taken care of. And then people can go down and buy them, young or old, and adopt them out, but in the meantime, they will never be killed. And so the secondhand store supports those animals. So, I said, you could take the cats, all those cats, and which they had like 12 of them, and take them to that no-kill. And oh no, we're not doing that. I said, it's a no-kill shelter. I said, and the animals should all be fixed anyway. You don't need babies, and you're homeless in your car, and if you can't put food in your mouth, why are you feeding all these animals? I can't. I'm sorry, I can't relate to it. I know an older couple that had their dog, and they were living in a damn car, and the car was way too hot, and that poor dog. It just breaks my heart. Okay, I just don't see it. I just don't see it. These animals need a real home with a yard and not too much heat, not too much cold. It's not fair. You know what I mean? But anyway, I just don't know. So I just wanted to give you guys an update, and I hope you have a really wonderful and blessed day, and follow your dreams. I always have, and I don't have a lot of regrets, But anyway, we'll see what tomorrow brings. You have a great one. Love to you. Night-night.